Welcome to the Quarter Twins podcast. My name is Joshua. I am your host. Today with me, as always, is the other host who is not superior or inferior to me. We are equals. Jordan, say hi, Jordan.
Hello, this is I.
Wow,
the
that was
inferior host.
Nope. I prefaced his introduction, with the fact that we are equal, so that's not true.
We are 100% equal.
Yep, exactly. 50-50. Although the bank account linked to our money in the Anchor app is my bank account, so maybe...
Frick, dude, you got that $5 right in your bank.
That five. Bam, that's a footlong right there.
Yeah, dude. 5 McDoubles.
5 McDoubles. Wow.
In this economy? I don't think so. Anyway.
Half a gallon of gas. Am I right? But me and Jordan are not the only two people here today. There's a third soul. The video listeners have already seen him giggling at me because I'm so funny. His name is Noah. Say hi, Noah.
Hey, everyone. Hi.
Wow. What a guy.
There
He's
he
got
is.
that gamer mic.
That's
He's
true.
he's so cool. We'll get to know him when we introduce him more and talk about what he's interested in life and stuff. But first, a word from our sponsor. And we're back. Welcome. Whoa!
Whoa!
Do you like that, Noah, when Jordan does that? He does that a lot. You
That's
notice
that thing
that?
I do.
My favorite thing about the series.
Wow, that's great.
I usually stop listening after it happens because I only show up for that. So
Oh, okay.
Oh, fair
that
enough.
and the For All Mankind recommendation.
Dude, what a show. That is a
Oh,
really
man.
good show you should watch, For All Mankind.
That's
Wow, I
all we
forgot about
need
that
is to
show.
give
Pretty good.
Joshua an excuse to talk about For All Mankind. We'll be
Dude.
here all day.
That's my
Instead of
bad.
talking about For All Mankind, which is a 10 out of 10 show everybody should watch, we just like to give updates on shows we are watching right now. Jordan wants to talk about She-Hulk and his high hopes for the show being dashed.
Yeah.
I wanted to bring up Westworld because I've been
that's right.
watching Westworld, and season 2, I watched the first episode, and I was bummed about it. And then I said I was going to keep watching the show just to see where it goes. I have not watched another episode since.
And he probably won't.
Honestly, the momentum is gone.
There
but-
are other shows to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first season, really, really good. You guys should check it out. And then just be like, it's over. The show ended. And
Show's
never
over.
watch the next 3 seasons. So, Jordan, go ahead. Speak to us. Tell us what's happening. What's going on.
Yeah. Noah, have you been watching She-Hulk? I
Not in a
didn't think so.
million years.
It's all right.
Good try.
Yeah, don't worry about it. It's really okay if you don't watch it. It's not great, but so the 4th episode came out today, and I finally understand what they're trying to do with the show. While it's not a great show so far. So the first episode we talked about, it's kind of its own thing. It just sets up the character. Feels kind of like a Marvel movie type thing. And then the second 2 episodes kind of start the show itself, the legal drama, quote, legal drama. It's not very dramatic. It's just kind of boring. But the 4th episode takes a turn where it's like it's the first Marvel TV show that feels like a TV show. And what I mean by that is the 4th episode is like, so it's She-Hulk is a lawyer and she gets a client and she does this case and it's resolved by the end of the episode. And they're like, Wong is this, so Wong is in this episode and
Great.
he has a legal complaint against a magician. This magician that was from Kamertage who left and is now doing like, dollar store magic tricks. but he also has a sling ring, and sometimes he gets nervous and he throws people into dimensions or whatever.
Ugh.
And Wong is like, you got to stop doing this, so he gets Jennifer Walters to help him get a legal case against this guy. Anyway, there's some actual funny stuff in this episode. It's actually fairly funny. And I think this show could be good if it's like every episode is a new like wacky case that Jennifer Walters has to, defend or whatever. Shows promise, other than the last 2 episodes, which didn't show promise. So it's looking up, I guess. There's 5 more episodes to go, so it's whatever.
It's
getting better? Question mark. But it's still not great.
It sounds like
CGI is still bad.
It sounds like this episode in particular is one of the first episodes of a show that's longer than 9 episodes. And I fear that because the show is actually 9 episodes, that these little anthology episodes are going to be wasted, and the larger plot is going to suffer because of it.
Because at this point, there's not a larger plot. Like, literally, there's nothing. So, I don't know what they're doing, but the show's not over yet. And I guess that's what TV is. So, that's what storytelling is like, I guess. So. I guess it's whatever.
It's whatever, ladies and gentlemen. The official opinion of the Quarter Twins podcast, She-Hulk, it's whatever.
It's whatever. But we got something good to talk about, I guess.
We do have something good to talk about, and it is TV related. We'll get into it. Noah's just kind of been sitting here staring at us talk. We haven't really given him any reason to chime in.
So this is your time. This is your time to shine.
Noah, who the heck are you?
I'm Josh's best friend.
Heck yeah, he is. Let's go. Let's freaking go right now.
Longtime friend of Josh. We played soccer and tennis and did high school and games together, so been through a lot of it.
And we worked together?
We worked together for many years. Thickest job ever. That's it. I live nearby. We play games together a lot, and I listen to every episode of this podcast because it is my interest. So
a loyal fan.
Wow, a true fan.
That's great to
hear. I disagree with a lot of your takes, but it's still in the realm of things I like to listen to. So
you disagree specifically with my takes a lot of the time, right?
Yeah.
Won't
argue that.
You're a Thor Ragnarok fan. And
I am, yeah.
And I really took that movie down a peg, I think.
You did. It's in my top 5 Marvel. And it has been since it came out.
What do you think of Thor Love and Thunder? No,
I agree with you guys.
Ask.
Okay, I agree with you guys on that one. Did you see
we kind of
on
disagree
Disney Plus now?
It is.
Yeah, I think I'm closer to your take on it, Jordan.
I might watch it again just to see if I'm crazy, but
yeah,
it's mid. It's not bad.
I don't know about that.
I didn't have a bad time watching it, but I have no interest to watch it again.
Yeah.
And that's different than a lot of the Marvel movies I do enjoy. So
sure.
That's a bummer, guys. It's one of the greatest Marvel movies, I think.
I don't think you actually think that.
I know you
don't.
That's
not true. That's not true. I think it's smack dab in the middle of my list. The poster's sick.
I wish someone offered me a poster. I would have liked to have one of those.
Josh, you could give him that poster.
I could.
That's good. You could give it to me.
Do you want the poster? I'll give you the poster. I have other posters. You want a different poster?
I'll trade you.
He's got lots of posters.
I got posters.
I look on my completely blank wall.
You got a great wall.
I don't think I have anywhere to put it.
Don't you have like a Ruined King poster or something you could put up there for the
I have
collectors?
I have like a map, yeah, but I don't want to like tape it or pin it on the wall. It's
fair.
Not really a poster. I have posters, I just don't put them up.
Where's your big Cloud9 poster? Or like a tapestry or something?
I have a small one with the player signatures from season 4, but it's at my parents' house still.
I used to have a couple cool Star Wars posters, and then I got married, and now they're nowhere to be found.
What the heck?
Oof.
No, I can't actually blame
Wow, couldn't be me. Could not be me.
Yeah, all my cool posters are at my parents' place. Now that I think of it, I got League of Legends and other esports.
Perfect.
Smash
Perfect.
Bros.
Perfect. All right, Noah. Let's move on to another question related to you specifically, because that's what we're doing right now. We're get to know Noah section. That's where we're at right now.
That's where we're at.
The next question is for you, Noah. What is your favorite movie? Do you have a favorite movie? You pick one out off the top of your
I
head.
Movie of all
do
time.
not watch a lot of movies.
We didn't
compared
ask
to
you
guys.
beforehand either, so
That's
on the
fair.
spot.
8 Mile. I really like.
Oh,
the movie
that's
8
right.
Mile.
It's definitely
8
8 Mile.
Yeah.
I have not seen
Uh,
that.
I've seen it maybe 3 or 4 times, so it's not like a
Oh wow.
oh, I watch this annually kind
What?
of thing. I don't watch a lot of movies. I really don't. I think I've seen Thor Ragnarok like 5 times, and I love that movie.
There you
But
go.
it's a little
Noah's
newer.
seen 8 Mile like 100,000 times. I don't know what he's talking about.
That's really not true. I genuinely
Eminem
haven't.
is
You
in it.
used to talk about
Cool.
watching 8 Mile like every day. You're like,
That's
oh,
a
I put 8
suggestion.
Mile on.
No, I didn't watch it. I wish, dude. No, I think I've only seen that movie 3 times.
Well, there you go. 8 Mile. That is a Eminem movie, specifically the rapper Eminem. Not to be confused with the Mars Candy Eminem.
Right.
Yeah, other things about Noah that you may not know. He's a big Eminem fan. He's a big Kanye West fan. He's
That's
a
true.
big Drizzy, a.k.a. the Champagne Poppy, a.k.a. Drake fan. But only
Well, don't put words
specifically...
in my mouth.
Only specifically, Take Care is a very good album. Noah likes that one a
It's
lot.
a great album. Interestingly enough, Drake is actually performing in Beaverton tonight.
Really?
Right now. Yeah, as we speak.
Oh, there
What
you
the heck?
go.
He's at the Nike World campus
Oh,
doing a 50th anniversary.
I literally work right next to that. So
Yes, you do. Yeah, him
just
and
dox myself. Okay.
Travis Scott are doing a show for Nike.
Travie Patty. No,
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
thank you. Well, that's cool.
We're so good at this.
This is very professional.
Yeah, we're so good.
Noah's a great guy. Noah's cool. He what else is good with Noah? Noah's a nerd. He likes League of Legends. That's a video game. It's a MOBA. What does MOBA stand for? Do you know what MOBA stands for? Multiplayer
Online battle arena.
Battle Arena. I play League of Legends only because Noah told me to a lot. Actually, it's possible that you didn't recommend that I play League of Legends, and then I did anyway. I don't remember exactly how the story went down.
I tell everyone to play it, but I do. I think I would have assumed that you wouldn't have been able to get into it as much as you did. So I don't
Yeah.
think I would have recommended it as much to you. So
I'm hype about it. I got this mouse so that I could play it because it doesn't have
Wow.
controller support. But now my mouse has all the buttons on the side. I can play it just like that. It's pretty awesome. The game is fun, but it's bad for your mental health at sometimes. You can get pretty angry. But I think all of the content that surrounds League of Legends is very good. We got the esports, we got the fan art and the cutscenes and all the fun stuff, and the pièce de résistance, the creme de la creme, Arcane. Arcane is an animated TV show on Netflix based on the lore behind League of Legends. Now, Noah, for all our listeners at home who don't know what League of Legends is, or are afraid that a video game-related TV show or movie is automatically bad because it's related to video games, tell us, do you need to know anything about the video game to watch this TV show?
well, I think most forms of gaming media try to make stories that don't require previous knowledge to get into, and they only kind of have to do that because they also want to appeal to people who do know about the lore already. And I think Arcane is one of the few that I've witnessed that does a really good job of presenting its own unique story that is easy to get into without knowing anything else about the series.
Fantastic. What a succinct and eloquent answer.
Mm-hmm.
Ready for the job interviews. Oh gosh. Okay.
Yeah, I can confirm. So
Yeah.
we're talking about Arcane. This is what we're talking about today, everyone. And me and Joshua watched it together. I didn't even know that it was related to League of Legends in any sort of way, and I've never played the game. I literally don't even know. And I watched the show, and I thought it was freaking fantastic. So you don't have to know what the game is or whatever to enjoy it.
That's awesome. So. Speaking of knowledge in the game, Noah's grandma, I believe, watched Arcane. Aunt, excuse me. And she insisted that she start playing League of Legends after watching the TV show.
I didn't tell her about it or anything. She came
incredible
to visit us one week, and we all just talking about stuff we've been watching, and she was like, I saw this show on Netflix. It was Arcane. It was great. And everyone who knows me is like, oh, you watched Arcane? Like, Noah loves Arcane. And I was like, yeah. And she was like, it's so good, right? I didn't tell her to watch it. I don't think anyone did. She just was scrolling through Netflix when it came out, and it was up in the trending for the week. And so she watched it and loved it and was like, should I play League? Is it like the show? And I was like, no, probably not.
Yeah, actually,
it's a whole nother experience. So.
It's completely different from the show. But it's a good time. We all here unanimously agree that the show is good. Yes. Which, that doesn't always happen here at Quarter Twins. We can be pretty pessimistic sometimes, lacking positive reviews sometimes. Not every time.
Yeah, I mean, mainly me.
I wasn't going to say that. But,
it's definitely true.
You have a critical eye, you know?
I do.
And I love that about you. That's fantastic.
You think? It makes for a good podcast.
Exactly. If we just said everything was good all the time, then there'd be no conflict. And what is a good story without a good conflict?
Wow.
So, Amen. Noah, can you break down Arcane in a easy to digest way? What's going down?
Synopsis of this, but
I'll
try to make one. A city split into two halves. I activated Siri when I said that. The wealthy and powerful people in control of the government, and then the labor workers who work in the mines and kind of fuel the economy that way. It's completely divided. And it tells kind of a couple stories amongst characters from both sides, often interacting with people from the opposite side of their city and either forming like an allyship or a rivalry and getting to like learn about the other side as it becomes more and more divided. The main characters are a pair of sisters from the Undercity that get separated as children and grow up to live very different lives and develop very different senses of morality that conflict as they are older. And then two scientists from the Overcity. I don't know if they call it the Overcity.
I like that.
But it's the opposite of the Undercity. Two scientists who find success that leads them to different paths that end up conflicting as well. And the journeys that takes all of them through it and how they interact with each other and the other characters, as well as an overarching threat of war between the two halves of the city. I don't know if that was a good summary.
Beautiful. Incredible.
Wow, that was so good. Yeah, so I thought we could just kind of do like a spoiler-free review and maybe like a good, bad, the funny real quick. And then we have a secondary topic that we'd like to sort of kind of be the main focus of the episode. because we found that sometimes when we review things that are new or fresh or just we're reviewing things, people don't listen to those episodes as much. And we're only doing this for the views. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But we do have things we want to talk
be
about.
interested
Yeah, exactly.
in what we're talking about.
It's all very important, and it's lovely.
Yes.
So, Jordan, this is you've watched it one time,
Yes.
right? You know the least about it,
Sure.
relatively. Give us your thoughts and feelings. Your spoiler-free review. Show us what you feel.
Yeah.
Tell us what you feel.
Sure. Yeah, I didn't know what to expect when watching it because like I said, I hadn't played the game. I didn't know anything previously. I knew I had heard the kind of buzz around it, like it won quite a few awards, or should have won quite a few awards potentially.
Oh, yeah, it just won some more
Yeah.
last week.
Okay.
Very nice.
Well, there you go.
Good show.
I heard people talking about it, but I never got around to watching it, for whatever reason. But Joshua and Noah wanted to talk about it, so I had to watch it, and yeah, I like it a lot. It's super. It's unique in that it's kind of split up into like 3 chunks, where I think they released episodes in 3 episode chunks, and it's 9 episodes long, and you get kind of the breadth of this story from beginning to end, and you get to see these characters from, like, you see the 2 sisters as children, and then in the latter half of the show they become adults and that sort of thing, and so it's very contained, and like the things that happen in this show could very easily take place over like 4 or 5 seasons of 20 episode seasons that stretch out for years or whatever, but it's very condensed into a 9 episode thing, right? So I liked that aspect of it, and I think it was so well done, where it was, sometimes it could be like they could have done it where it starts off with Vi is one of the sisters. They could have started it with her as an adult, and then she comes across Jinx, and then it's like, okay, we're gonna do flashbacks, which I'm glad they didn't do I'm glad they didn't do that sort of thing where it was like flashback, but back and forth between present and past type of thing, because I don't love it when shows do that.
They did the whole story chronologically.
Yes. I really like that about it. It's visually beautiful. The animation is just incredible. And I think that's part of the thing we want to talk about, is just like animation can be so much more than like quote kids movies, kids TV shows, because that's kind of the stigma about animation, is that animation is for kids. And there's a movement of people that are like, actually it can be for kids, but it's also really cool. And so things like Into the Spider-Verse, and that movie really kicked off like people show up when we actually put time and effort into making animation unique and exciting. And so Arcane has a very distinct visual style that is beautiful to look at. Like I said, easy to digest. It's got a great story with lots of great themes, and I think it's great for anybody looking for a great time. It's a great time. It's depressing at points, but
Oh yes. Well,
very
that's such is
emotionally
life.
moving.
Yes.
Such is life.
Yes. Did we watch it in all one go? I know.
I think we watched like the first 6, and then we watched the last 3 a different day.
Okay. I remember we said, "Oh, we'll just watch one. We'll get started on it," and then we watched like 6 episodes.
Yep.
And I was like,
it really hooks you.
It's good. Yeah. So speaking of people watching the show, I got my parents to watch this show. I think I don't want to speak for myself here, But
Why not?
I don't know. I can speak for myself. I think
That's almost exclusively what we do here.
Yeah, I'm not sure what I'm saying when I say that. I think I have a pretty good track record when it comes to shows I recommend to people. And I think my parents trusted me when I said, hey, let's watch this League of Legends TV show. And my mom did not finish the show, I will say. She did not watch the final episode and a half. There is a scene when Jinx is a little under the weather, and she gets emergency surgery, let's just say.
Yes.
And, they don't show anything gruesome or anything, but, it's implied. So she said, I'm not going to watch the rest of this show. And that was that. It's a bit of a bummer. But my dad, he watched the whole show. He asked when season 2 was coming out. And that's when I thought maybe he liked the show. And so I told him, well, they announced it, so maybe in like 5 years we'll get season 2. Because when did they announce Arcane season 1? Like 2018 or something?
I don't know when they announced it. They did it for I believe, the League 10-year anniversary, if it hadn't been announced before. So 2019, end of 2019, like
Okay.
October 2019, I believe was the first time they announced it. That might have been the first teaser, but I'm going to say it was the first time they announced it. I watched it at the stadium while I was working at kids camp.
Kids camps. Those are fun.
Easy times to watch stuff, yeah.
We sat there and watched these kids play soccer for like 9 hours. And me and Noah kicked a tennis ball back and forth on the concrete.
Nice.
And got paid. Let's
Easy
go.
money.
Heck yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah. The season 1
Let's freaking go
was
right now.
6 years in development, and they said that season 2 would not be as long now that they have the success and funding and approval for whatever they need to do to get that going. But they also said it wouldn't just be an annual like franchise season, just churning them out. So, which I'm okay with.
And I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, I can tell the time it took to make season 1, and I hope it is anything like this first season. So.
Yeah, it's pretty hype, you guys. It's a pretty good show. You should definitely watch it. Do we want to do... Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, my favorite part about it is the Imagine Dragons theme song.
You know...
Yeah, great stuff.
I kind of do like the song.
It's good. It's a good song.
I thought it was
funny.
Yeah, I think
Imagine Dragons.
I think it's more funny when they show up in the middle of an episode
Imagine
and have their
Dragons
little music
makes
video.
An appearance in the show.
Essentially, my only complaint about the show, and I don't even mind that, but if I had to pick something to complain about, it probably would be that. It's a little unnecessary, but I don't mind that.
I know they used that music video and like a more edited version of it at Worlds, I think, which is the grand championship of the esports tournament, and they used that to hype up one of the matches or something. And they
that was
had
like one of the themes of the whole event. So.
Right. But then it was just funny that they put it in the TV show. They're like, oh, hey, we already animated this. Let's just throw it in one of the episodes. It'll be good.
Yeah.
People will love it. They were like, oh, hey, that's that guy. Because it does look like him. They like animated the people from the band and put him in the show, which I thought was funny. But yeah, so... Do we want to do a whole spoiler review, or do we want to go into talking specifically about animation as a whole?
You might be able to intertwine the two.
Oh, intertwine. Tell me more.
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Where do you want to go with this conversation?
Dude.
What's our end goal? Should we define the terms of our relationship right now?
Oh my gosh. I don't know. Let's think it over. Let's mull it over, guys.
We really prepared for this episode. Yeah.
Yeah, we did. And then Noah was like, I can't. No, wait, was that me? No.
I
I don't remember.
I don't remember.
I got sick. I was sitting here waiting.
Oh,
to record.
yeah.
Oh, I got sick.
You got sick, and I went
Yeah.
to the Timbers game against the Sounders, and I screamed so loud I couldn't talk the next day. It was a hype game, and they won.
Heck yeah, they did.
And I'm not usually that hype for the Timbers anymore because they kind of suck. But they played a good game against the Sounders of Seattle, and that was fun. So I'm happy about that. But then I couldn't speak. Also, I don't know how I forgot to mention this, but I went to the dentist today, and my face is still numb. I'm honestly surprised I sound pretty normal right now, but I can barely open my mouth. I'm in a lot of pain. But I do this for you guys, okay? And I do this for myself.
Yeah.
Because I love
I've talked
this.
about why I like the show. Why do you guys like the show?
Oh my gosh. You're right. Well, I'll go first of the two of us. I thought the show was... Okay, let me backtrack. Noah got me into League of Legends, and I started playing the game a lot, and then I started getting into the esports, and I have fun with that, even though North America is not very good. I like watching the North American players. It's fun, you know?
Boys.
Yeah, exactly. And, there was this next thing, League of Legends TV show. I was like, oh, this looks good. And I watched it, and I was honestly, kind of awestruck by the level of depth and work that they obviously put into the show. And it's not just, fan service, kind of oh, hey, these characters, we put them in a TV show and did a couple things with them. There are a couple things like that, there's a scene with a Krug, and it's sitting in the thing, and it's just a quick little shot of this rock from the video game, and you're like, oh, hey, that's that thing. Or, Victor will use the laser arm that he has in the game for a quick second, and it's a quick joke, and you're like, oh, hey, that's that thing. But for the most part, the whole show is, its own self-contained universe. It's very well realized. You guys know, if you listen to the podcast, Noah does, you will know that world building is one of my favorite things. And anything with good world building is an automatic +5 points on the scale. I think world building is essential to getting a person invested in a TV show. And I think that Arcane has a very well-realized world, even if they don't really talk about Noxus or Ionia and all these extra things that are around. Shurima. Hey, I know about Shurima. It's all in, what's the name of the city? I don't even remember. Piltover, yes. And the Undercity, which has its own name, like Zaun, but that's not official. Patent pending. And so, but the characters all live in this world, and it's obvious that they lived before the TV show, and their characters will continue to exist after the TV show. And that's where I really enjoy something, is that it's obvious that the world is lived in. So Arcane really hit it out of the park with that. They don't ever really go out of their way to build extensive knowledge of the world. It happens innately, which I think is also a pretty cool thing that happens. There's a lot of TV shows or books that will take a chapter out to just, here's the story of this, and they'll just kind of have their little day in the sun, and then it's relevant later, which is fine. But I think being able to build a world subtly while also having all of these character arcs and these themes and these motives and all this stuff is really powerful storytelling wise, I think. Mm-hmm. And so that was something I really, really enjoyed about the show. And Jordan mentioned the animation is very, very good. It's kind of got, I liken it to Tarzan, because Tarzan did this cool 3D CGI and then did the 2D drawing over it to kind of mask it. and I think Arcane kind of evolved that technology a little bit, which is awesome. It takes a lot of hard work. Tarzan, man, those people worked hard to make that movie.
Dang.
But
Phil Collins?
yeah, Phil Collins. Holy cow, what a movie.
Certainly worked hard.
Yeah, amazing. Have you seen Tarzan? Noah.
He has no idea what we're talking about.
Well, there's a scene in Tarzan where Tarzan is sliding around on the vines of these big jungle trees. And it's very smooth and fluid for a movie in its time. And it was later revealed that they used computerized technology to create that scene and then drew over it frame by frame, which is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. But they did it for like several scenes in the whole movie, like fully 3D rendered the entire frame and then drew over every frame of the show or of the movie, which, you know, is in whatever 24.4 or whatever they do for movies. Just ridiculous, the amount of work and attention to detail that they put into that. And I think Arcane matches that. All right?
Yes.
They bring it to the next level. It's fluid. It's bright. It's colorful. It's fun. It's they got like all these like flaring, especially when Jinx is on the screen, she's kind of got this mental state happening. She's kind of lost her mind a little, and there's a lot of times where you can kind of feel her hysteria, where there's the like scary faces drawn over people's eyes or, you know, what have you. And I think it's just they do a very good job creating the spectacle, and I like that a lot. I've rambled on for far too long. Noah, you've watched the show more than anyone else on the planet. Tell us about it. What makes you love it so much? Oh my goodness.
Okay, it defied all my expectations for what it would be, because beforehand I'd seen Mortal Kombat movies and Resident Evil movies and Hitman movies and Warcraft movies and Devil May Cry anime and all this stuff, and you just go, man, every one of these is so awful, like, on its own, in a vacuum. If I didn't already enjoy the characters, I wouldn't care about this at all, and I honestly might be a little upset by it, by what they've done to the characters and the story that I like so much beforehand. And it's very easy to see how they say, oh, how can we, with like as little time and money as possible, make a slightly fan-appealing show referencing a video game and just, you know, slap it on a box and call it good. And so going into Arcane, I kind of had that same expectation, where there's no way it'll actually be good. It might be cool, it might be a fun time, but it's not going to be like something I will recommend to people who don't care about League, because why would it be that good? And it was just incredible. They released it in 3 different acts, each one of 3 episodes. So the first weekend was episode 1, 2, and 3, and you had to wait for the next 2 weeks to end up watching the rest of the show. And the show isn't really split up into thirds. It's kind of like the first third is one era, and then the second 2/3 are, they kind of go right along. There's no like time skip or anything, but they both break at really important moments, and not just general like cliffhangers for the next episode, but like, you know, monumental shifts in what could happen in the show. And so watching it as it came out was a really cool experience, and kind of frustrating having to wait another week to see what happened, knowing it wasn't just like a once a week kind of show like you can be kind of used to, but this was 3 at a time. You basically watch a little movie each time. And so I think just in general, I've always watched this show in chunks of 3 now. I kind of watched them all as 3 different movies, which is fine and unnecessary, but it's nice that they have it set up that way. But it's just really good. It has really good writing all the way through. It doesn't have a bunch of like easy one-liners or kind of corny dialogue or kind of cliche dialogue. I mean, it's very good writing, very realistic in just how people have emotions about things. Even though the situations might not be realistic, the emotions feel really like well written and then well acted by the voice actors. So very easy to get behind all of that if it nothing else I liked about it. Those were some great elements, as well as the animation, as they've said already. So, but on top of that, I love all the combat scenes. They look really great. It's much like not too much in the way of, oh, it's a video game about combat, so the whole show was about combat. They didn't just do that. That's good. There's about, one decent fight scene per episode, but they all look great as short as they are. The soundtrack is really good. They had a bunch of songs specifically requested for this show.
There's
And
a song featuring Sting that ends the
is.
show. I listen to quite often. Very sad.
Yeah.
Very good.
Very, very sad. All of the songs kind of carry the emotion of the show very well on their own. And it's just a good story overall. It's not just a big comedy, but it's kind of light in some areas. It's a very serious show overall. Most of the things that happen to the characters just suck over and over again, but it's a very serious show. You guys have mentioned before some of the critiques you have about usually like Marvel media being like, it's hard to be super invested in a story when you know there aren't really stakes because none of the characters are going to die or even really come close to dying. They're always going to make it out in the end. Arcane doesn't do that. Characters die, like serious characters die pretty often. And it kind of just carries that realistic weight that, oh, this is like, honestly a rough war that these people are in, and any of my characters can, even like the lead characters can die at any time, and you don't really know, so it's pretty good. The way they handle Jinx throughout the whole show is really good. It's not too overboard, just, the Joker kind of psychotic, but it's a constant juggling of like fighting for sanity and not being able to have it, and they do a really good job of portraying the process that goes through. So very easy to get into. I love the show. It's very good. Very sad. It's very serious, but it's very good.
Very good. Well, you heard it here first, folks. 3 out of 3, 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. Is that true? Actually, I think that is true. That it got 100% or like 99 or something. It's very good.
Yeah, probably.
Everyone should watch it. Viewer discretion is advised, low key though. Yeah. So like, be careful of that. I guess.
Like, animation's not always for kids, and this is definitely not.
Yes.
A kids show. So it's not like overboard, whatever. But it's like, I don't know.
What do you say?
For anybody who cares, Haley Steinfeld voices Vi, so that's a name that people can be like, oh, I know her.
Yeah, so that's true. That's true. And Imagine Dragons is in it.
That's right.
That's a name people can attach to right there.
That's right.
Yeah, so we wanted to talk about animation specifically here as well, to kind of just round out today's episode. Arcane as a stepping stone, right? The animation is good. It's not for kids. These kind of are pillars of our argument that animation has inherent value that people aren't seeing.
Yeah.
I think you brought up Into the Spider-Verse. I think that's a fantastic example.
For sure.
Because, I mean, obviously, of course, live action, there is like camera work and cinematography, and that's something I value a lot. Shout out Roger Deakins.
Yep.
But obviously there is an advantage to animation because the camera does not exist. You draw the frame, right? So you can put the camera wherever you want.
Literally wherever.
It can be in a wall. It can be underground. It can be a million miles in the sky. It can move super fast. It can move super slow. You can fake shaky cam. All this stuff that you can do with a real camera and everything else, Yeah. And so that's one huge, driving point that I like to bring up a lot for animation specifically is that there's no restrictions except your own creativity. And furthermore, I think going back to live action again, and and talking about cinematography, that is an art form, and an art form I respect greatly. There is a lot of work that goes into that because of the limitations, and being able to kind of supersede those limitations is an art form on its own, and I love that. 1917, Roger Deakins, again, such a good movie. So there, there is that, but I think animation is like, it's this whole separate art form you have with color grading and all of the facets of art, literal, like drawing, painting, that like the visual art of animation, along with the voice acting and the concept art and the storyboarding and all of this stuff that goes into creating this thing. I feel like, I brought up Tarzan again, the amount of extra work that has to happen to be able to build the whole show from the ground up, because no one is physically acting, or there's no wardrobes and all this stuff that goes into live action. It's a separate thing at the editor's bay, at the animator's bay, that they're doing. It's a whole separate world of art. And I think animation has been used, and cartoons have been used to do children's things a lot because it's cheaper, maybe? I don't really know. Or it's easier to digest and more cartoony, like that's just kind of the world we've grown up in. But I think things like Into the Spider-Verse, Rick and Morty comes to mind as more of an adult show. Adventure Time, my favorite TV show of all time, starts out as a kid's show. I wouldn't call it a kid's show by the end. I think Star Wars The Clone Wars, a fantastic show that Jordan thinks looks bad for some reason. I'm not sure
Always
what
thought
bad.
that show looked bad.
I don't think
What?
it looks bad.
I-
I don't like the way it looks.
No, yeah.
Okay.
Some of the older episodes kind of look bad, but
I will
all
agree to
the
that.
facial structures in that show are very hard to
Hard to look at.
accept. Throw a clone trooper helmet on somebody, I'm fine. It's awesome. Great show. Anakin Skywalker's walking around with a chiseled jaw. I'm like,
Dude, he has a chiseled jaw. What do you mean?
I don't know, man.
He looks great.
Yeah, the way I think about animation is like for example, like a Star Wars movie. Take the prequels, for example. I can't fully immerse myself in the Star Wars prequels because I'm constantly being distracted by a green screen or a CG effect
screen.
that doesn't, or a blue screen, or a CG effect that doesn't, that tickles the uncanny valley in my, or She-Hulk, for example, where on paper maybe it's a good show, but when she transforms into She-Hulk, I'm like, that is not real, and it looks terrible.
It's pretty bad.
But whereas in animation, like with Arcane, for example, the world building is so rich, and I can fully invest myself in this world, because it's self-contained and everything is 100% exactly what the creators intended. There's no like dodgy CGI or haze lines over people's hair over a green screen. There's nothing that distracts me from being fully invested in a story, and that's why I like animation when it's done really well, like Arcane, Into the Spider-Verse, that sort of thing. And it just like, yeah, you can do so many things with animation that you can't do in live action, obviously. Tell stories in different ways that you can't tell in live action. And we're just here to like help everybody be more open to animation. Yeah, we want people to watch more animation. For sure.
Noah, your deep conceptual thoughts on the art form of animation.
Like animation.
And there you have it, folks. Noah's for it as well. What else is there to say? Oh, he has something to say.
Yes. I don't know. I just wish there was more stuff like Spider-Verse and Arcane to watch. Maybe there are. Maybe I don't know. I actively looked for them if they're not saying, "Oh, these Marvel League of Legends shows that you're gonna like," that kind of stuff. But I
What
do
if?
quite
What
like
if
both
looked
of
pretty
those.
good. There's a Marvel
I have
show.
not seen What If. It's on my list. Sorry,
That's okay.
but I've seen a handful of animes. I like the way a lot of those look, and modern stuff looks really good compared to a lot of the ones I've watched from much longer ago. But there's a lot of great things that can come out of that truly just aren't going to come out of any live action style movement and camera work. So I'm not as big into the film tech realm as you guys are. I've learned a lot from listening to you guys, but I can't give a very well presented description about who is responsible for what elements of making a movie. So
Wow,
that's okay. You know,
so he just said that he learned things from us.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
a very proud
insane.
moment for me. I'm happy about that.
That's what we're here for. We're here to educate. You know, obviously.
Speaking of education and anime specifically, Noah brought it up. I didn't even do that.
Here he goes. Here he goes, guys.
There's a whole realm of TV, you guys, that comes out of Japan called anime, which means cartoon. I'm cultured. Anime is animated TV. It's all amazing. Literally, well, okay, I'm lying, but most of it is really, really, really good. There's a couple shows that were just really bad, but that's, okay. 2020, the world ended, right? COVID comes, everything is suck. I go home and I watch a show called Hunter x Hunter on Netflix. Pretty good. No, nothing special animation-wise, but it's fun. It starts me down the dark path of anime. Till now, I've seen over 80 anime in the last 2 years, and they're all so great. Specifically, I've mentioned it a couple times on the show. Violet Evergarden is the best animation there is. There's no equal. It's literally so perfect. It makes me angry that real life looks like this. It's a bummer. Silent Voice, in my top 10 favorite movies, is an anime. Same studio, by the way. Looks very, very good. Kyoto Animation. I just think people are, either they're afraid of all the reading subtitles, or, oh, it's from Japan, blah, 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 or like it's childish because it's a cartoon. And there are aspects of anime that are, of course, childish. Anime in Japan is made for kids for the most part. That's just how it is, right? But they also make a lot of shows for adults, and I think that whole culture has kind of, especially in the last 2 years, I would say, expanded greatly in the Western world. And I'm happy to see that. And I hope that it continues to grow in that way. As far as last week, I mentioned that my mom came to me and said that she wanted to watch an anime that I had referenced on this show. Comey Can't Communicate is the name of the show. It's a fun little rom-com on Netflix. We watched the first 2 episodes the other day, and we watched the first episode in English, per my parents' request. I watched the show in Japanese with the subtitles on because I'm a superior being. And we watched it in English, and I can safely say that I've never cringed more in my entire life watching that first episode with my parents. And just like some of the jokes they say and the line delivery in English and how like the narrator was, it was terrible. But they were like, oh, this is kind of cute. And I was like, okay, can we watch the next episode in Japanese? Because I don't think I can watch the next episode in English. So we watched it in Japanese, and that show has a character that doesn't really speak, and there's a lot of like katakana and kanji on the screen that's like translated. So there's like subtitles all over the screen sometimes, and there's like 5 different things you need to read, but some are more important than others. And it's like, for someone who hasn't read subtitles at all, I was just like, oh no, this is really bad. I shouldn't have done this to them, because how do they know what to read? Where do they go? Sometimes the subtitles for the lines that the characters are actually saying, which is the most important part, will go from the bottom of the screen to the top of the screen, and you don't know when it's happening or why, and there's just words all over the screen. You can't even see what the actual shot. But it was a good time. They laughed a couple times. So hopefully we can get back into that and continue to watch it. I'm a proud son of these two parents who were able to watch anime with me.
That's
a dream come true. Everyone should watch anime. Jordan, we got to get on it. You let me know whenever.
This is a great segue into what we're doing next week, Joshua. Oh my gosh,
that's right.
Watching an anime movie.
Do you remember the name of it?
Nausicaa and the Valley of the Wind.
And the Valley of the Wind, a Studio Ghibli movie starring Patrick Stewart and Shia LaBeouf. Can you believe it? That is real. We'll watch it in English. I don't know if we will do a commentary track or anything, but
I do need to watch it, so
we will watch it together. Noah, you're more than welcome to join. If anybody else wants to watch the show or the movie, they should. It's on HBO Max.
Yep.
Along with most, if not all, of the Studio Ghibli movies are there. Very, very fun, very good. Are we calling it?
I mean,
now?
I have a couple Letterboxd reviews pulled up.
Oh, snap.
And we can do a little bit
Let's
of a
play
game.
the game.
I think at the end. I
yes.
just have a few Star Wars themed games or questions. Have you seen Star Wars?
Yeah.
Noah? Okay, good. I didn't know this about you.
Do you very quickly, Noah? Do you have a ranking? Could you give us a ranking of the 9 films, plus or minus the Rogan solo, if you don't mind?
Yeah, give me a second. I'm gonna write it down so I can say it all at once. You can ask Josh a question.
Okay,
we can
hit me with the Letterboxd review.
Let's just pause.
Okay.
Real quick.
Yeah.
I'm gonna find a few.
You guys are geniuses.
Yeah, we're just gonna pause and I'm gonna find a few more reviews.
Noah,
I was about to do my thing.
Yeah, do it.
Whoa!
Wow, that might have been the best one I've ever heard. Noah, you had a top 10. That's not right. A Star Wars ranking that you were gonna give us.
I have 11 now.
Yeah, 11. Please start from the bottom. Yes.
All right, at the bottom, episode 8.
Oh, get out of town.
The heck?
Get out of town. This is the worst.
All right, Jordan, you said you were gonna have some Letterboxd reviews that you were gonna show us.
Finish your freaking list, Noah.
Am I allowed to? I despise episode 8 and everything about it. It is so boring. You can cut the entire middle out of the movie, and it starts and ends the same way, and nothing is achieved throughout the entire movie. I hate it. The writing is bad. The plot is garbage.
Okay,
don't you dare disparage.
I don't want to get
into
into
your list.
Yeah, let's go. Come on, let's just rattle them off. All right.
Sorry, I just had to say that one because you guys can't go one episode without saying this is a good movie.
It's literally so good.
It's actually a masterpiece. I watched it again, and I actually am a huge fan. I moved it above Solo now.
Really? Back to
thought
3?
You guys were just
back to number 3.
Yes.
I've talked
right,
about
finish
this
your
movie
list.
with Josh before, and I just figured you guys were trolling me every episode, but I don't believe it anymore. Okay, 8, then 1, then 9, 7, Rogue One, 3, 2, Solo, 6, 5, 4.
Okay. We're just gonna move on.
It could be worse. Could be worse.
It could be worse.
It's all right.
My friend Elisha has Revenge of the Sith at number 1, and that is a travesty.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we've had him on the show twice. We give this guy a platform twice, and he doesn't like Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh my gosh. This guy.
I think we're gonna have to permanently ban him from the podcast. I'm sorry.
Come back anytime. All right.
That's true.
You guys ready for game time?
Yeah, let's play a quick game.
This is game time. Okay. These are all going to be Star Wars movies. Welcome back to Guess the Movie by the Extreme Review with Quarter Twins plus Noah.
Quarter Twins plus Noah.
I'm going to give you an extreme review, so here we go. This is a 1-star review. The review is Disney killed Star Wars. What's the movie? You got that narrows it down for you.
Episode
Which one
8.
is it going to be?
Probably, right?
Joshua says episode 8.
I'll just say 7.
He's going to say 7. That was for Solo, Star Wars story.
Solo.
Disney killed Star Wars.
That's a bummer. Solo's pretty good.
It is pretty good. Jumping around here.
We're terrible at this. This is actually so hard, by the way.
No,
Yeah.
I feel like Jordan
I don't
picked
give
the
you a
ones
lot
that
to
are
go on.
intentionally hard.
That's
Yeah.
kind of the
They're
funny
Sure,
bit
yeah.
of this game is that it's impossible to get anything right. So, this is another 1-star
Rigged.
review. All right. If you actually like this series, you were actually blinded by nostalgia because this series is probably one of the most boring. It's so slow, and if you actually think it's a good movie series, it's bad, and you're blinded by nostalgia.
That
Wow.
verbatim.
Yeah, that's what the review
Who
says.
It's
writes?
blinded by nostalgia twice in one sentence.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Who writes the word like?
Yeah.
They're talking
Shout
like
out
that?
to Vorvor, who wrote that.
Wow. Well, that could literally be any of the movies.
It could
Episode
be.
4.
I'm gonna say
What's your
episode
guess,
5.
Joshua?
They put
It
the
was episode 4. No, it was
Ah.
100% correct.
And I
It's
was
the
0%
first Star
correct.
Wars. If you actually like this movie, okay, 5-star review. Here
5
we go.
stars,
This
let's
is
go,
5
baby.
stars. Big fan. Not being able to enjoy this movie must be like having the cilantro taste like soap gene. Like I genuinely feel bad for you and your taste.
All right. Considering where this game has gone, I'm gonna say episode 9.
Okay. Noah?
Not being able to enjoy this. That was one.
It's
I genuinely
comparable to
feel
having
bad
the
for you and your taste.
cilantro.
Cilantro tastes like soap.
9
That
seems
does
pretty
sound awful.
reasonable. I'll be sad if it's 8. I'm gonna say 9.
It is Star Wars: The Last Jedi. It's episode.
Ah, yeah, let's go! Such a good review. Based
Yeah.
take.
I genuinely
Jordan
feel
wrote
bad
that
for
right
you
now
and
for
your
this.
taste.
I do. I
Yeah, I just
genuinely
wrote
do
that.
feel bad for you.
Shout out to Dead Ringer.
The
who wrote
dead
that.
ringer.
Okay, back to a
For a
1-star
smart
review. This movie is just 2 hours and 15 minutes of minimal production. To me, it's laughable that these are the contributions, in quotes, America provides to the rest of the world in film, while other nations have actual impactful stuff.
These people really writing the word like down?
Yeah,
What
I know.
the heck?
Yeah,
I don't know the
shout out to
runtime of
Josh.
these films.
Shout out to
Two-
Josh. who wrote
Yeah,
that.
dude, shout out. It was me. 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Mhm.
I don't know.
It's laughable.
It's
Minimal
laughable.
production.
Well, minimal production. I don't think they would say that about the old movies. I'm gonna say Force Awakens, Episode 7.
I was thinking
Okay.
7.
That was Return of the Jedi.
Ah.
That.
Yeah. Minimal production. They built the entire Death Star in space,
Yeah.
I've never
For the
thought
second time.
and they
Star Wars
blew
has
it
been
up.
It's so good that America contributes this to the rest of the world. I'm so proud of it.
Wasn't most of
think the movie's
Star
that
Wars
way.
were filmed in London, right?
Something like that.
Or somewhere in England?
5-star review coming up. I almost just said what it was for. I was for this movie. 5-star review. Full offense, but this is the best Star Wars film, and I cried through at least 60% of it because I was overwhelmed with how much I love Star Wars.
Oh gosh. It's like Attack of the
What could
Clones
it be?
or something.
What could it be? What could
Is that an option?
it is an option?
I mean, has anyone given a 5-star review to Attack of the Clones? There's no way, right?
I tried to find one, but I couldn't find any good
Okay.
ones.
Retract my
So,
guess on Attack of the Clones.
Take that away. I'm just gonna give
Wait,
you
was
that.
this was a 1-star review, right?
This is 5 stars.
Oh, this
Full
is 5
offense, but This
stars.
is the
They'd
best Star Wars film. Cried through at least 60% of it because I love Star Wars so much.
Dude, I don't know. Episode 9.
5.
Rogue One. Imagine.
Jeez. I forgot that Rogue One existed.
This is another 5-star review. All I'm saying is that pure joy caused my soul to ascend from my body on more than 3 occasions. My head tells me that this is a 4.5-star film, but my heart won't let me give it less than 5.
Wow. People are
People
passionate.
allowed to write these things.
That's what the internet is born for.
Yeah.
Oh.
Shout out to Amy.
Amy
Thank
Grant. Shout
What's
out.
Amy's favorite Star Wars movie?
Amy loves Revenge of the Sith, doesn't she? It's gotta be.
Force Awakens.
That's another review for The Last Jedi. She loves it.
Oh, let's go! Yes!
Oh,
5 stars is right.
5 stars. 100% correct.
I cried through the whole movie because of how much I
Um,
loved it. You know, I
cried
did
through
when
that movie too.
when I went in December 15th, 2017 when I went
Mm.
to
We saw
The
it
Force
together.
Awakens.
Oh, no, sorry. We saw Last Jedi together.
That's true. I was in Sun River with my family, and we went to see Force Awakens, and the title card went, and the music started, and this was the first time I saw a Star Wars movie in theaters, and I was overwhelmed by the emotions that I felt at that moment, and
Yeah.
I cried during the title crawl of Force Awakens.
I feel that.
It was
when
amazing.
Finn ignited the lightsaber for the first time, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm seeing Star Wars in the theater.
Yeah.
So
It was
Um,
pretty dope.
I got 2 more for you guys. I got 2
The movie's
more,
okay
right?
though.
This is a 1-star review. So boring, plastic, and emotionless. Acting, plot, jokes. Why is everything so weak? The only thing which is relatively good here are the decorations.
Decorations.
The decorations are amazing. I love the decorations. I love what you've done with the place.
Personally, I would write this review under Phantom Menace.
Fair enough.
I love the decorations in Phantom Menace.
And,
You remember the part
the
where Padme
decorations.
is overlooking the droids invading Theed, and you can see the outlet her dress is plugged into? That is hype. That's a decoration right
stuff.
there.
Noah, you have a guess?
yeah. No, I don't.
Think outside the box. Think outside the box.
No, they're
so-
all outside the box ones. You can't pick an obvious thing. I don't even know what to think of decorations. Episode 5.
100% correct.
What is
It's
happening?
The Empire Strikes Back.
How is that movie boring?
Boring,
The
plastic, and emotionless.
decorations.
But the decorations are amazing.
Well, like the AT-AT?
Okay, this is my favorite. This is the last one. This is my favorite review. It's a 1-star review.
Is this the one you texted me?
No.
Oh, okay.
I won't use that one. But that one's also really funny.
Very funny.
Okay, I almost... It says the title of this movie in the review, so I got it. Excited to watch this movie after my latest Top Gun binge.
Mm.
The last scene is very reminiscent of the plot of Top Gun Maverick, but nowhere near as good. Movie overall wasn't bad, but it should be more like Top Gun if it wants a higher score. I just love this person's
I
so
agree.
obsessed with Top Gun that
It
like
should have
every
been more
movie
like
he
a
sees,
movie that hadn't come
he's like,
out
man,
yet.
this movie should be more like Top Gun.
Top Gun.
I haven't
Binge.
seen either Top Guns, so that doesn't help.
This has a pretty big hint. Which Star Wars movie has an end scene that is the most similar to Top Gun Maverick?
I don't know. 6.
Episode
If you guys
4.
haven't seen Top Gun Maverick, Top Gun Maverick is an absolute masterpiece. It's fantastic.
I'm going to say episode 4.
I'm saying 6.
It is episode 4. They literally do a trench run in Top Gun Maverick. It's like,
Really?
it's incredible. It's awesome. You gotta watch it.
That's hilarious. Okay.
So there you have it, guys. That was Guess the Movie by the Extreme Review Part 2. I do that every now and then.
Well
We'll
done,
have to do
well
one of
done.
Joshua's games next week, but
Yeah, I forgot. I literally said, "Oh, I'm gonna pick a line for every episode now," and then I didn't do that. So my bad.
I came
I'll do
prepared.
It.
A
Yeah,
line.
wow.
So.
Noah, do you have a game for us?
I have a guess a line.
Okay, hit
Oh,
us.
there you go.
Yeah. It's one of my favorites.
Is it from 8 Mile?
No,
Ooh.
it's not. We can try. The line is, "You'll just have to imagine the fire."
Castaway. You'll just have to imagine the fire. I don't know if I've ever heard that before.
Just have to imagine the
Is it from Arcane?
trying to get into character.
No, that would have been nice.
You'll just have to imagine the fire. Yeah, what would that be? The only movie with fire I can think of was How to Train Your Dragon, but that's surely not it.
Is it from Lord of the Rings or something? I haven't seen Lord of the Rings.
It's not from Lord of the Rings. You should watch Lord of the Rings.
I know.
Just have to
It's a huge part of nerd culture that I have not.
yeah.
I hadn't seen
Subscribe
it
to.
until a couple years ago. My mom made me watch them, so I did that. And now I've
Did you
seen
like
it.
Middle Earth?
Is that the realm they're in?
Yeah.
The second and third movies were awesome. And the first movie is good lore if you're into it, but the second and third movies are very fun to watch.
Interesting. Okay.
You'll have to imagine the fire.
I
Harry Potter.
It did kind of have a Harry Potter vibe. I don't know if Noah's seen Harry Potter.
Never seen Harry Potter. All I know about it is from your episode.
Can you
Yeah.
give us a hint? Please?
It's a superhero.
Superhero.
And I'm certain you guys have both seen it. I'm guessing you guys have both seen
Have to imagine the fire.
it. I'm certain you guys have both seen
Watch it be from Spider-Man or something.
Yeah. The Dark Knight Rises.
Oh,
it. That's it.
The
You
Dark
got
Knight
it.
It's The Dark Knight Rises?
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, that's it.
dang,
Wow.
you just threw
that
that
was
out there?
100% a guess.
I've only seen The Dark Knight Rises on an illegal.
When
streaming
does he
website.
say that?
Just
Bane
kidding.
says that to Batman near the end.
You'll have to imagine the fire.
Yeah, exactly. Because I forget her name, but the main villain of the movie,
Yeah.
she like walks away saying that Batman's gonna die in the fires that ignite his city or whatever, and he just gets to sit there and watch. And he walks away, and then Bane's like, "You know, I have to kill you now. You're just gonna have to imagine the fire."
Huh.
Because
Mm.
he wasn't gonna let him just sit there. Anyway, I just
Wow.
love the way he says it in the movie.
I'm really
You
proud
just
that I
have
got
to
that.
Imagine the fire.
It's like
I
it
was
carries
born in
no-
the darkness.
It carries no real relevance to
Molded by it.
anything, but I love that line so much. I've always loved that line.
And the Trigger Man is a mystery. Anyway. This has been Quarter Twins episode 22.
22.
Thank you so much, Noah, for joining
Yeah,
us.
what a
talking
great
about
guest he
all the
was.
things.
Took it in
What a great
stride.
guest.
Our lack
We'll have you
of
back sometime.
preparedness.
When we do we should do a Last Jedi commentary, and we should invite Noah to do that with us.
Yes.
So that we have conflicting opinions.
That's
That'd
such
be
a good
really fun.
idea.
Really sick that
Um,
day.
Can we
Maybe we'll do
get
that.
your full commitment to that idea right here live?
No.
All right.
A verbal contract is binding in the state of Oregon. I don't
Mhm.
know if it
I
is
don't
or
know
not.
if that's
but
true.
I hope you guys enjoyed it. Everybody go watch Arcane. Everybody definitely go watch Nausicaa and the Valley of the Wind before next week,
Mhm.
so that you can actually listen to the episode.
Watch
'Cause we want you
For
to
All
engage
Mankind
with us.
on Apple TV. That's pretty
Watch
good.
She-Hulk if you're bored. Watch Rings of Power on Amazon Prime. And have a great weekend. We did want to just send out a rest in peace to Queen Elizabeth.
Yeah, shout out
That
the Queen.
happened today. That's a bummer. Anyway,
Rip to the Queen. You know, she lived through. She had 15 prime ministers in her tenure. 75.
we'll see how this all shakes out.
She didn't even get to celebrate
next few
her
days.
platinum jubilee. What a bummer.
So, God save the Queen. All right,
Mhm.
we'll see you guys next week. Goodbye.
Bye. Shout out the Queen. No, the Queen.
Great ending. I feel like.
Dang. Did you know that she died today, Noah?
Yeah.
You see all the great memes on Twitter, dude. Holy cow. People are really pumping them out.